It's another season of hardship for Nigerians as the country battles subsidy removal after the Naira and elections drama witnessed a few months ago. Although the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, after federal government's meeting with the Trade Union Congress, TUC, and the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, said a joint committee will be set up to review the proposal for any wage and establish a framework and timeline for implementation to cushion the effect of the subsidy removal. But how far will this go? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. Recall that the NLC and TUC had demanded increase in minimum wage, tax reliefs, and so on, and had threatened to embark on nationwide strike on Wednesday, 7th of June, if government fails to meet up with their demands before the strike was called off. Whether we like it or not, just like the president announced on the day of inauguration, subsidy is gone and gone forever. This is another battle for the common man after the Naira Saga, fuel scarcity, and elections drama. Comrade Omotenche, the president of CHSR, is here. Honorable Olabi Ajenifuja of the All Progressives Congress is not excluded. It's political matters, and I am Michael Adekunle. Let's discuss. Comrade, how would you react to the cancellation of the strike that was supposed to be embarked on Wednesday, 7th of June this year by the NLC and TUC?
If I'm to tell you anything about NLC, I think right in this studio, sometimes during the Naira crisis, okay, I stood there and I condemned the leadership of the labor movement that ought to have stood up for the Nigerian workers who are facing difficulty during the Naira crisis, and they failed to do so. And calling off a strike is not a new thing to some of us. That labor is known for that, and also it's not going to be as a form of compromise at times. When you make a demand, and in that demand there is a condition that if you did not fulfill this, my condition, I give you a stipulated time frame between 2 or 3 days. This is what I'm going to do. And once you met my condition, I think there's no point of me going ahead. I just want us to see from different angles. Okay. The more the Nigerian labor movement continue to play on the intelligence of Nigerian workers, the more they will continue to lose their grip. I am saying it with all sense of sincerity, that it is obvious that it's not only because I saw their conditions. The federal government have made a way to break the rank of the Nigerian labor movement by separating the labor movement, NLC, from the TUC, discussing with the TUC. And some of us who are students of the struggle, we know when Obasanjo, it was Obasanjo that divided the NLC in 2001. It used to be one. Then he broke the ranks because he felt the Adam Oshomole-led administration is too stringent in their conditions and positions. So the next thing he could do is to divide the labor movement, separate the TUC from the NLC. And that's how every government in any way, even in the education sector, they always want to build what we call management team. You understand? So what we are seeing today, it shows that the statement of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the current president of Nigeria, shows that we are still in the same regime of draconian democratic government. Because ordinarily, when a new government is sworn in, there's an opportunity to ease the life of the people for the next 1 or 2 months. And to remove subsidy is not a child play. There must be a consultation. You can't remove subsidy before you call for consultation. There must be consultation. There must be dialogue before you remove subsidy, then it's a slap on the entire Nigerians. That on the day of inauguration, the president could slap Nigerians by such a derogatory statement, because that shows that he's somebody who believes there's nothing anybody can do, and that has been his position during the electionary campaign. There's one arrogancy statement you used to make, that either you like it or not, I am going to remove subsidy. If you like, you protest. That is a dictatorial idea. We are in democratic government. That everything we are going to do must be democratically in process and procedure. And now, removing the subsidy, we all of us, me as one of those who led the trenches in 2012, cannot today turn around again and say what we stood against in 2012. We have seen it that it's because the person that removed the subsidy then was not one of us, then therefore we must permit that. No, I will not do that. The truth of the matter is that the only way Nigerian citizens and electorates benefit from this government is through the subsidy. Yes, it's through the subsidy. The only thing they can do for us, that I can clap for this president or whoever that did it, is to bring back our refinery to work.
Now, of course, the statements made by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the president of Nigeria, has really generated reactions in the society. Even the former vice president of the country, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, also complained. He said Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu should have made a wide consultation before making such a statement. He said it was like setting the country on fire with that kind of inaugural speech. Now, how would you describe this act by the president of a nation that is governing over 200 million people?
Well, like I said earlier, I said a promise made and kept defines the ability of every leader in this world. Asiwaju said it during his electioneering process, that not that I will remove subsidy. Let us underline the word subsidy. To a comrade who has been an historical person in the field of comradeship or struggle for the nation, subsidy in its term is like a cankerworm that is eating hard on the economic stability of Nigerian people, because it's a well packaged fraud by some minute elite of our country who believe they are just minute, because a cabal in a country can never be above all the masses. They are just some set of people, less than 1% of Nigeria people, that are benefiting from the word subsidy. It's an high profile.
Is it crime or scam?
It's a scam. It's an high profile scam.
Crime.
You understand? You are just scamming the poor people. Yoruba said, Titari roland kola, tó bá jiná tán, ọ̀ṣọ́ ló máa ń dì. And Awolowo said it clearly to us that we can never have a perfect democracy without autocracy. In the next budget that we might likely embark upon by the newly sworn in president, there was no room. There is no room. No budgetary provision for subsidy. Yeah. Let me tell you the danger in subsidy. The whole expenditure expended on subsidy surpass 3 ministries' budget for the year: Education, Health, Ministry of Works and Housing. When you bring these 3 budgets together, it can never match the amount of money spent on subsidy. How can economy grow with that? And as he was saying, I will remove subsidy, I thumbed up for him for being able to take that bold step to say, okay, I said it during my electioneering process that I was going to remove it. The statement my comedy was referring to was not made during the electioneering process. It was made when he was addressing the TUC. You know, we found ourselves in a capitalist government that always used divide and rule. That was what happened in 2001, where that was the truth. The government in place break the rank and files of the labor movement. Even they use it during our time. I know Labor Congress is always in alliance with NANS. Yes. Sometimes we differ in opinion. And it is not because we cannot reason and agree on a certain position, but because the capitalists who are in control of our economy don't want that uniformity between the leftists as we declare ourselves then. You understand? My comment here will agree with me that subsidy removal is a long overdue. He was only concerned about the process that it was removed. He didn't condemn removing of subsidy. Even the article you mentioned that was saying a wilder consultation should have been made, was article not a beneficiary of PPR? Is it profit privatization policy they made in their own time? PPR. And he said it in his own campaign too, that I will remove subsidy and I will enrich my friend. That was the statement. I will enrich my friend. What is the big deal there if I become the president and my friend becomes rich overnight, even if they didn't work for it? But thank God for the Nigerian people, they voted for an ever-resilient leader who said, I will do this, and is trying to do it. Consultation is a continuous process. He started discussing with his own people. He knew it was not in the budget, and he must take a decisive decision, and that canker must be buried alive before it gets into the racks and file of everybody. So corruption of subsidy or scamming of subsidy is long overdue.
In 2012, in fairness to Goodluck Jonathan-led regime, there is a wider consultation. You know why the subsidy was refuted then? Okay. It was because the consultation has not ended. We were in a forum at Muzon Center where consultation of the subsidy removal is being discussed, where we have people representing the civil society, people representing the labor movement, people representing the government, the Okojo Weala, the Dezani, the what they call it, Sanusi here thereabout, to come and present to Nigerians why they must remove subsidy. Those that find themselves in the corridor of power today, even yesterday, were part and parcel of those who led the struggle to object the removal of that subsidy, saying that a reasonable government will not remove subsidy. Fine. If you have agreed that, according to the analysis, over $11 billion is being spent on
trillion
dollar.
Yes, I said $1 trillion.
$11 billion.
Okay.
For record purpose, $11 billion. That the whole money they used to spend, they need to spend on the subsidy after review was about 8 billion. So after their review, they discover we have spent about over 2 billion in excess. So we need to stop this. Then Nigeria, being as what we are, when people cry, we always want to. Our concern is that the masses should not feel the pain. Whenever the masses are pain, we are pain.
Which the masses are feeling right now.
So when they come with those analyses, then some of us see it as if, and unknown to some of us, then these people today who are seeing subsidy as a scam, who then see subsidy as a as necessity, and now seeing it today as a scam, were part of those who joined us on the trenches. But my concern is this: we have identified $8 billion to be paid for subsidy. Then we are paying $11 billion. It's very simple. Those who are in charge of that excess of 2 point something billion, That is what we call corruption. That is where we need to tackle. And mind you, you and I knew that once we are not producing and we are only consuming, we have to spend more. When Dangote refinery was launched, we learned it was about $9 billion what have you project, blah, 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 blah. And then, so that somebody will not come and file a libel against some of us, that we learned that some people in the government also have percentage shares in that refinery. So if a subsidy, a Dangote newly rebuilt building refinery costs about $9 billion thereabout, what stopped the federal government to repair our 4 refineries at 66.5 billion?
Which the president promised to do, the former president.
And these are part of what removed Jonathan government in power in 2015. Because these are what they used to deceive Nigerians. That we're going to fight corruptions, we are going to make sure our 4 refineries are at work, we're going to ensure work on the exchange rate, and today, all is the same thing. We cannot continue to be doing the same thing and be expecting a different result. The government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu should respect the will of the people. Revert the money, the fuel pump price, and then after wider consultation, let Nigeria. But what we are, the danger we are having now is that the country is getting divided because everything in Nigeria is being politicized and ethnicized as well.
Let me come in from here now. Comrade, you made a statement the other time. You said those who stood against the subsidy removal during Jonathan's administration are now the ones supporting.
I can read to you right here.
Yeah.
The statement
and I could remember,
credited to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu on the 11th of January 2012.
Now, I could remember what happened then. The convener of Save Nigerian Group, Pastor Tunde Bakari, was one of the prominent persons that frontline that protest. Apart from Tunde Bakari, we have the likes of the former president Muhammadu Buhari. We have Atiku
we have
Rufai. So many of them, protested at that period. Now, why are they supporting the removal of subsidy now? Was that an act? Was that an act to topple the government of the then president at that point in time, President Goodluck Jonathan?
It's not to topple the government. Let me quickly tell you. I'm very sorry.
No problem.
It's not to topple the government. It's to deceive Nigerians that they are part of us. Yes, it's to deceive Nigerians. That shows it shows very clearly that they are part. And what always baffles me.
You were part of the protest.
Yes,
as well.
Yes, I'm one of the leading
protesters.
Comrade in that, because I handle Ikorodu zone. Because the labor, we are different from Save Nigeria Group. The Save Nigeria Group were led by Tunde Bakari, who occupies Ojota. We are from the LASCO, Labour and Civil Society Coalitions, that spearhead the entire protest and strike. But because there's a jamboree at Ojota, organized by Save Nigeria Group, and that's where everybody. So what happened then was that, if not because of the government also blackmailed the labor leader then. The Jonathan administration blackmailed the labor leader that they want to take power to. They want him to be impeached so that Sambo can be sworn in as president. So, and that's what makes the labor leader.
And that's why I'm asking, was that act to topple the administration of Jonathan? Because we have same people.
Maybe sorry. Maybe the grammar you are using, you cannot expect a comrade to react that topple government during a democratic setting. Okay. Maybe you can use that word that maybe it's a gimmicks by the political class to outrun the incumbent.
No, the political class sees that opportunity of what happened.
How do you feel about this?
And that is what led the campaign in 2014.
You see, my comrade here, my presenter too, I am not on this podium to argue with my comrade here, but to bring facts to the table, to convince Nigerians to be patient with this new government. I believe we all know that government is a continuum. If there is consultation in 2001, 2012, and there was a fallout from those consultations, as government comes in, consultations continue. It won't end because the government has not ended. So government is a continuous process. You understand me? If we are dragging this thing from 2001, 2012 till 2023, and we are still in the same spot, I think for a leadership that has just come into power to say, okay, let's kill this word subsidy that has eaten into our economy.
And that's why.
Let me make my point here. Okay. I said I have come to convince the masses okay, to be patient with the new government, because for every gain there is sacrifice. There has always been price for everything. Dangote refinery is coming up. I want to also tell you from a fact that I know that the president has also instructed that at worst, in the next 6 months, one of Nigerian refinery must be put in place, because Dangote refinery cannot serve everybody because of our population and the level of consumption of fuel in Nigeria. But between you and I, do we really mean well for this country when we are subsidizing fuel for some cabal, and they are taking the fuel to Cameroon, they are taking it to Chad, they are taking it to Benin Republic? Why does our fuel subsidy affect those countries immediately subsidies was removed? That is number one. Number two, I want to bring us back to memory lane. When MTN started, all this network was introduced. Nitel was there, but we were not satisfied again. Some people bought off Nitel, they killed Nitel. During the privatization period, we know thousands of people that was disengaged without even their benefit as at that period. Even did not lose. Now, that time myself cannot even buy an MTN SIM that was sold at about 33,000 naira then. It was a luxury, and it was for some class of people. But with time, I can boldly say that the three of us seated here must have given out SIMs to even our kids. So definitely this fuel subsidy issue will definitely later be beneficiary to the Nigerian masses.
Honorable,
I'm pleading to the Nigerian masses to exercise patience with the new government in place.
Let me quickly.
Let
me make it clearance. Let me make it clearance. Now, I now see where the honorable
is coming from.
Oh, you know what? Okay. The best way to they know Nigerians, like fella said, like suffering and smiling. It is not even comparable for us to compare the use of airtime and network with fuel, subsidizing the fuel. It's two different things entirely. If you said because of that, then very soon, my brother, let me quickly tell you this. The difference between airtime, network, and fuel subsidy is very clear. Except we want to continue to play party politics. And on Saturday, somebody was telling me, you don't expect a party member to, everybody want to come and defend his or her party. Fine, it's good.
But my country first.
But our country first.
Okay.
Our country first. When Buhari, the former president, came into power in 2015, removed subsidy in 2016. We were on the street protesting, and we were also arrested. We are not surprised. Some of our so-called former comrades who have shift posts moved to the right were now the spokesperson of the Buhari administration. We still have them up to today. Now seeing it as if we are being sponsored by opposition parties. If government is to subsidize fuel, like we have said, I agree with you, there have been consultations have to continue. Fine. Respect for Nigerians is very important.
Thank God this same government, Tinubu, came out to oppose the Naira policy even when he was contesting under the same party that brought the policy. It also shows that the so-called cabal that are benefiting from every corruption committed in this country are still alive and they are still playing their game. That was how we got ourselves into Naira issue. But this subsidy, like I said, is a long overdue problem that we must take a decisive actions about. And I want to say this clearly. I also fuel my car here, and I know how I fuel it like 5 days ago. You understand? No. I'm just telling you. So you saying maybe I am skipping. I'm not. Like I told you.
You're a member of the party.
No. Like I told you, when we want to start the program, okay, I said every problem we are facing is from both the masses and the government. The government did not allow the masses to trust them because of the way they've been handling the previous administrations. And on the premise of this, there is nothing any new government will bring on the table that you expect the Nigerian masses to accept immediately. And that is why I have said I know there is no policy that is perfect. I know that there will always be reasons for us to say no to removal of subsidy. But why coming out here? I'm also concerned to say we are pleading for the Nigerian masses to endure the pain that it won't last. It won't last long.
Are you sure it won't last long?
He might not be sure. You cannot expect a government to tell you he's sure. He is also part of that masses is leading that do not believe in the proactiveness of the government, that felt, oh, these people will betray us. And that is why I'm also telling him that I'm not here to argue with him, because I'm also one of the Nigerian masses that he is. So definitely,
you're also passing through the pain.
I feel the pulse. I'm not living abroad. I know what is going around. I live with my people. I'm not the kind of person that stays out of his own people. I know I queue at the filling station. So why would I not feel the pulse of the Nigerian masses? The only thing I can say and plead for Nigerian masses is to exercise patience and at least allow this government to put in place all palliative measures that should have been put in place before the announcement.
God bless
you. You see, I said it. I am not here to contradict or argue with my colleague here, because a lecturer was once a student. We were in the same train. So even if you say some of us has gone to the other side, we still keep our hearts close to our people. And that is why you always see the difference between those that pass through the same school of thought you pass through school, because we are talking about ideological belief. That we don't only submit ourselves to superior argument. We submit ourselves. You submit yourself to superior argument and provide solutions to every problem. And that is what we are taught in CDHR. That if you are identifying a problem, you must identify the solution. You don't just come out to tell us this is the problem, this is the problem. No. And before you want to convince Nigerians, you must appeal to them first, because they are feeling the heat. You talk about Naira policy that almost strangles so many families to death.
Not almost.
I said almost every family to death. And now we are coming into
the president never make a statement
about it. And even the then president that did not make a statement, but I am telling you that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu made the statement that this is not right. At this situation, we cannot do this. He condemned it vehemently. I learned today that the House of Rep has also invited Emefiele to come and tell us what happened and how some money was also paid without due process. If the custodian of such financial institute also made the same mistake, you are saying a layman. You know, a professional is always appointed as a governor.
For record, wait, before we go, if you are talking of we want to cut the excess of spending in government, and then we want to cut the hands of some cabals, we can, even without removing subsidy, we can cut excess spending in government without removing the subsidy.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Our elective position, elective office holders, the money they budgeted for them is too much. Yes, because even me, as I'm telling you today, me, I don't see what the Senate and the Rep are doing in difference. It's a duplicating of office. If you look at the budget of the assembly, you are talking of subsidy where they assist the people. That we believe it was them that know that it is not only the people that the subsidy is assisting. It was some cabals whom they are paying the money to. We believe that subsidy payment is to cushion the effect of the people. So subsidize fuel for the people.
That means you are only looking it from one angle.
I am not.
And the topic you are about addressing should be a discussion for another period.
Honorable, please let me have my.
You are looking it from another myopic angle.
Abi?
Yeah.
It has always been said that there was some cabals that are going away with this subsidy. The budget of the National Assembly is bigger of less than 500 people, less than 1,000 people. It's bigger than the budget of Nigeria Ministry of Education. And you are tagging it with subsidy. The take home of a senator, of a rep, is 2 excess. Why? Wait now. What is difficult there for government to make elective position attractive? If they really mean that they have the interest of Nigeria at heart.
But my brother, we are getting there. It will be less attractive.
No,
you will see it. We will get there.
Now, so then you talk.
So how do you want us to say it? I said we will get there.
That is what
Rome was not built in a day.
Yes.
You understand me?
I agree with
so and 1,000 miles journey start with a step.
Yeah.
Okay, they have removed subsidy. What is the sacrifice?
They cannot remove this subsidy must not be removed.
It has been removed. Don't even lead people to a battle you cannot win.
And another thing I want to tell you as a message to our honorable.
Okay.
Is that to appeal to this federal government.
Okay.
Because I have not seen the reason why Nigerians will not protest.
Okay.
Not to sponsor any thugs or hoodlums to attack protesters, peaceful protesters who may be disagree with what labor movement have done.
Protests that have been called off.
Yeah, wait now. It was strike that was called off. Strike. Hold on.
To embark on strike.
No. Wait.
No. They are waiting.
Let him make his appeal.
Yes,
Okay.
Be a protest.
He's sending a message.
Okay.
Wait now.
So
I read where Saheed Kubo threatened the labor movement.
that what?
That if they protest in Abuja, it's on ground for them.
Okay.
Fine. And we saw what happened yesterday at Ogun State Tribunal sitting, where thugs go in and beat opposition party men who are at the tribunal. So it's a bad signal they are sending to the people, that so people cannot hear their view.
That's why I said the
strike
has been called off, because it is
if strike
that gives birth to protest.
No, Mike, it's not like that. I may decide to protest tomorrow.
Okay.
That I disagree with.
Even when you know
that
within you that subsidy is a long overdue that should have been removed. Because no, my brother.
To marry protest and strike.
No. You see,
there are two different things.
One
Do you
thing,
agree with me?
ọwọ́ ló ń ṣáájú ojú.
Oh no.
Strike ló ṣáájú.
No.
Kẹ́yìn tó bọ́ sábẹ́.
There are several times. The Nigerian Labour Congress.
Wait now. There are several times.
Said
Michael,
they are not going on strike.
members of the labor movement may not.
Let me relax for the two of you now.
Protest. Okay.
Okay.
The civil society, the CSO, the civil society organizations can decide to protest and go against what the position of the labor movement. It's not a crime.
No.
Which means you believe labor has compromised.
Not believe. You don't understand what I'm saying. The labor movements are for workers. Their belief is that when labor call for strike, it's make the protest more. The protest make it more thicker, and the message to go far.
Okay.
Because nobody will be at work. You won't go to work because they have called. There's a strike. When there's no strike, there are people who don't need to strike before they protest. And I'm putting it to you today that, and I will not be surprised if people protest tomorrow and they are being attacked. It's not a new thing. This government.
No, you can't say this is a new government. You can't say this government because
we witnessed it in NSAS protest at Alausa, where thugs attacked innocent protesters.
That was
no, I am telling you.
Regime.
I am telling you today. I am telling you today
okay.
that such.
Can you just allow the comrade to land so that after chipping in his own opinion, I will also give him my own word of message to take hold.
There's an umbrella body of the civil society. It's called Joint Action Front.
Okay.
They may decide if tomorrow they said, comrades, we are to protest the fuel subsidy. We don't need to consult the labor movement. They don't need to tell the NLC. They don't need to go and take permission from NLC. It is only when there is strike and NLC call for collaboration with the civil society through JAF that the strike. But I am putting it to you that it's possible if tomorrow myself and our organization and some other organization believe that we need to protest to allow us on this subsidy. We not agree subsidy. But are you saying because the labor movement have said they have called off strike, we are not entitled to do that?
But aren't you supposed to work together? The labor,
maybe
CUC,
now he has
your organization.
You are getting it. You are mixing it.
My comrade. I'm not supposed to be an intermediary between this scenario here, but I just want to say this to the comrade in the program here that you see, we have rights to express our view. We have rights to our divergence opinion. We have rights to disagree, to agree. What I'm saying here is I am not going to be party to where I will say, do not hear your voice. Because I have been taught that most times majority opinion might not be correct.
Why are you presenting yourself like a peacemaker?
And I should be able.
And I know Tim is also surprised.
And I should be able to tell you that I am standing on the part of the masses.
Okay.
That I don't want us to witness what we witness in the NSAS. Okay. What happened during NSAS? Some family are still living with that agony. Some might not survive the agony of NSAS till date. I only appeal to the comrade here that they should not mislead the Nigerian masses by the kind of information they dish out to lure people to protest. And they should also put all measures in place to be sure that the hoodlums, because some of these stupid hoodlums we are talking about or talks are not hired. They are opportunists. That they will take every undue advantage. Now some of them want to go and buy petrol to be selling because it has now is skyrocketing. They are there. Because the government is hard on the marketer. Those people, some of them refuse to sell to the keg. They sell to the cars. You can see that some of them are now idle hand, which is a devil's workshop. So any protest must be properly managed. I am talking on the part of the masses, and at the same time, if you claim that I'm talking on the part of my party, the government, I have no crime doing that because there are freedom of association and I have right to align myself with whichever belief that I so desire to be part of. But I am saying that the Nigerian masses should not be misled, should not be misinformed. Adequate information about subsidy should be given to them. I won't teach them what to tell their members that want to protest, but they should tell them the truth. That we know that subsidy has eaten into our economy, but why we are protesting is maybe because there was no adequate palliative on ground. Instead of leading people to just face protests and some hoodlums will just come and take advantage, you will now say it's a sponsor hoodlums. I told you what transpired during Lekki, not Togate, this election, the obedient people in Lekki, in a situation whereby we are voting, a dominated area of the Igbos. How then can just 5 few Yorubas twist a population of over 100,000 of Igbos? They invariably beat up those people, claiming that they have come to disrupt what they are doing. But those people came that we are Yorubas, we want to vote, we want to perform our civic responsibilities. So I am appealing to the civil society organization in Nigeria as a whole, through my comrade here, that whatever message you want to pass to the public, inform them adequately, and that you should be sure that those you are inviting will not be the one that will bring up crisis and claim the government of the day instigates crisis against peaceful protesters.
And what advice would you give to the president?
My advice to the president can never change. I've always told you. My advice to the president is that he should alleviate the suffering of the Nigerian masses.
Not just alleviating the suffering.
He should.
On the aspect of making statements that could set the country ablaze. That's what I'm saying.
That is, you see, that's another thing. Because a maker or a user of a statement will always be the one that will give you the denotative and connotative meaning of his words. I am not Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I'm just an affiliate of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He will be listening to this program. This program will go viral. A whole lot of people that are more closer to him than me might also get to this program. Then the journalists too. You are the watchword of our society.
The fourth estate of the...
Yes. Please come out in plain terms. You are to balance. Now, he is a comrade. I'm a politician. Take it that way. When you are giving report of our discussion here, you must balance it. This is the view of the civil society organization. This is the view of the politician. Allow the masses to now judge whom they want to follow. Don't go and give a misleading caption. The civil society has said they will break down Nigeria tomorrow if the subsidy is not removed. All for you because you want to sell your media house or you want to sell your media print. So please, I'm sending that to the world too. Nigerians, we are sorry. This problem will be resolved.
Thank you so
because
much.
I have the belief in the current government that they will solve our problem.
Well, I don't have much to say. Thank you and thank everybody, but I want to correct an impression before we leave. That we organize, we lead an organized organization. That even at the central body, we always ensure before you can see anybody in our protest or at our protest, must have come through a unit. You know, we operate in 3 tiers: the unit, the state, and the national. So it must have come through a unit, and it has always been. And there have never been any talks who could have the boldness to challenge the Nigerian people on the streets, if not being sponsor or rely on some elements.
All right, thank you so much because of our time.
But I know government will not sponsor talk to go and kill the people they are governing.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. I really appreciate you for coming on board. Yeah, and on this note, we say goodbye to you on today's edition of this program. Join us next time on the same platform. My name remains my name. Bye for now. Thank you.